Okay, dear viewer, many thanks to you for joining us on the program, The Arena on Aneke Television today. My name is Chris Anibogu. Thank you for having joined us. We meet here to take on burning topical issues and matters facing us as the people in the society. And today, we have Barrister Ezonora Kletus join us. He is a political and public affairs analyst, as well as a legal luminary, a barrister at law based here in Enugu. Barrister, welcome to our studios.
Thank you for having me.
It's all right. Yes, we were able to pull him out from his chambers, where actually he runs his legal business. But then, I don't know, the country Nigeria is in the state of mourning. We lost our former president, Muhammadu Buhari, just the other day, and his remains was finally brought back home from London, where we lost him to Nigeria, to his hometown, Daura, for burials, and that was on the 15th of July, 2025. He was buried. Accompanied home by tears and emotions from Nigerians, government persons, including the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So I wouldn't know what it means for you, barristers on our Kletus, looking at the man, Muhammadu Buhari, as a Nigerian, a young Fulani boy, the number 23rd in his family, 23rd child of his father, who lost his father quite early in life and was raised under the care of his mother. Joining the military, he rose from the ranks and files and then became military head of state. And since then, he's been part of Nigerian political history. How do you feel about the breaking of the news of the death of Muhammadu Buhari?
Well, I felt, I felt bad. I felt bad not just because I want to feel bad. I felt bad because he's a human being that, died. So, and he also a former Nigerian leader. He was a former military leader. Then after, some years of his military headship or rulership, he was overthrown. And when the democracy, when I think the Fifth Republic came into being, he offered himself to be elected as a civilian president. He made 3 unsuccessful attempts, then he got it at the 4th attempt. But going back to his career as a military man, the man, you cannot write the history of this country without bringing his name into the history book. I'm saying so because, he did one of the major, he organized one of the major coup d'etat, that shocked the entire nation. Because I'm saying so because Nigeria, Nigeria, when the military struck in 1966 by Aguiyi Ironsi, where he ruled for 6 months and he was overthrown by Gowon, then before other subsequent
military
coups. Then Nigeria now returned into democracy. Nigeria embraced democracy in 1979.
That's right.
Yes, when the late Shehu Shagari emerged as the first elected Nigerian president. Then he ran under Alex Ekweme. Alex Ekweme was his deputy
president and
vice president.
Running mate as
so
well.
They won re-election in 1983. Then after their re-election, after a few months of their re-election, Buhari struck and sacked them and introduced a decree and and suspend the constitution, and it's only the court that was allowed to function. Then and suspended the National Assembly and all of that. So these are one of the major military coup d'etat in Nigeria that we can never forget in a hurry, because sacking a civilian which everybody was cramming you know,
to have.
yes, to have, because they always say there's one professor, well, what's his name? He's a lecturer, and a retired professor from UNIZI. He wrote one book, African Politics. I can't remember his name now, but he said that the professor, you know, he quoted in one of his African Politics. He quoted in one of his book about African politics that the worst civilian rule is best than the best military rule. So for Buhari to struck and took over the country and suspended the constitution, suspended the National Assembly, and suspended the president and what have you, you know, it's not something that we can forget in a hurry.
In a hurry.
Yes. So, but now we are, there we are, you know, the democracy now returned back in 1999. After the return of democracy, he made several attempts. He made the first attempt in 2003. It failed. He made the second attempt in 2007. It failed. He made the third attempt in 2011. He failed. He now joined a coalition led by by the present president. You know, he joined. There are some political group, you know, APUGA, political parties, APUGA Action Congress, a faction in Afghan,
led by Rocha
Sokorocha, and then the what's it called, the AMPP.
Okay.
AMPP then led by, and the CPC, because AMPP metamorphosed into CPC.
Okay.
You get me? Because Buhari ran under AMPP with Chubo Kadibo in 2003. Then he now ran under CPC, under the same party in 2007. Then now run under CPC in 2011, where he gained not less than 12 million votes. Do you get me?
Yeah.
So based on that vote, he garnered when he gained during the unsuccessful attempt to become Nigerian president. So Tinubu now saw him as a formidable force, because this man, without agent in pulling boots across the country, without dishing out money to political jobbers, without giving the INEC, without influencing the INEC, was able to
pull this number of level of support.
That this is the best person we can field in to defeat the PDP. Because the PDP in 2003, the PDP boasted that during the realm of Obula for then he was National Secretary.
Vincent Obula,
the late Vincent Obula. They boasted that the party is going to rule this country for uninterrupted 60 years, if I'm not mistaken.
And they ended up being 16.
They ended up being 16 because they never managed their victory, magnanimously. But be that as it may, he succeeded. The late Buhari succeeded in sacking them in 2015. Then he ruled from 2015 to 2019. He got re-elected in 2019 and ruled for the second term of another 4 years, and left and handed over
in 2023.
Yes. So, but one thing that I cannot take away from the man is the integrity he portrays to be known for. During his military, and not when not
okay,
the time
which now makes us going. Which now is going to make us ask this next question.
Yes.
You've given us the background, the analysis, especially for the younger ones there who may not know that part of our political history or that part of the story of late Muhammadu Buhari. Yes, it's among the few Nigerians who have been opportuned and privileged to have ruled this country at two different forms. I mean, as former military man and then as a civilian.
Yes.
I think it's just him and President Olusegun Obasanjo.
Yes, only him and President.
So he was there as a military head of state and later on as a civilian president. As the barrister was trying to point out, we want to look at President Muhammadu Buhari as a military head of state and President Muhammadu Buhari as a democratically civilian elected president.
Yes.
For you, which was the best?
No,
for Nigeria.
For me, I will mark him. I will give him, credit mark. As a military man.
Why?
because, you know, during his reign as the Buhari Idiabo, because he ruled with Idiabo. Buhari Idiabo then, Idiabo was the ones spearheading the war against indiscipline. And even corruption was fought for a standstill in Nigeria as at then. When but, you know, because of, you know, the consistent military, you know, interventions, IBB, you know, could not allow them to last in office. You know, IBB struck and sacked him with his, you know, his military group, and arrested most of them, and, you know, sent them to a military tribunal for trials.
Including,
you know, court-martialed
Muhammadu Buhari was detained.
He was detained, and most of them was court-martialed and was sent to jail, you know, then. So, but during the, because, you know, he came on board as a military president in 1983, and ruled from 1982.
Though there seems to be controversy,
yes,
with that part of history.
Yes.
Another record is indicating that Sani Abacha actually announced the coup,
yes,
against Shehu Shagari,
yes,
the night of 31st December,
yes,
1983.
1983.
But Babangida now made the announcement of the takeover of the government by Buhari,
yes,
early hours of January 1st, 1984.
Yes. You know, the conflict in that date,
yes,
can be reconciled.
Okay.
Because why I said it can be reconciled is, one is this: for the proclamation, for the pronouncement to have been made on that 31st, you know, means that the military had struck. Do you get me? So the subsequent announcement or pronouncement makes just to legalize or to you know, to militarize what has already been perfected or what has been done.
Okay.
Do you get me?
Okay.
So, but based on the military, based on the history we all have at, you know, our fingertips, we do understand that he struck in 1983.
Okay.
And the rule from that time to 1985, when IBB now struck.
The same IBB?
The same IBB.
Who announced...
We announced his takeover. And now struck and sacked him from the office. So, but be that as it may, for me, I will assess the man, I will give him credit, you know, during his military era, because war against indiscipline was, you know, was highly, you know, inculcated into the minds of Nigerians. You know, you can't throw trash along the along the roads, or throw, you know, waste. You know, we have waste disposal, you know, in every street. There are certain things you cannot do. When you come to where they are selling fuel, you join the queue. You don't circumvent the queue. If you go where people are buying something, you learn how to do things the right way. During his era, failure which the military will bounce on you. Because military, we are deployed in strategic places. Even in the market, there was a market control during the time Buhari, you know, governed as a military.
So there was high level of discipline.
Discipline, yes, and sanctity during his time, during his reign as a military man.
So what happened to Buhari as a democratically elected civilian president?
No, what happened to him as a democratically elected Nigerian president was, at the time, you know, he had the opportunity to come on board. You know, the age was no longer at his, you know, at his advantage. I'm saying so because, you know, based on the official age, you know, what termed to be official age that was given to Nigerians was not actually the official age.
It hasn't been proven otherwise.
It hasn't been proven, but what happened during his certificate, work certificate, and what have you, will tell you that you don't need a soothsayer to pronounce that this man, the age this man declared was not the actual age. You know, because we all follow the event as it unfolds. Do you get me? So what we are saying in effect is this: when he came on board, you know, he was able to outsmart the ruling party because of the support he had with the Tinubu's bloc, political bloc at the southwest. Okay. You know, and some of the few votes he got from, you know, the south and the southeast.
Though he said southeast gave him just 5% support.
No, you know, southeast was predominantly PDP states. You know, vis-a-vis the south. You know, but he had an inroad in southwest, because, you know, in southwest were all AD. that that was among the political parties that formed the APC.
From AD to ACN.
ACN, yes. From AD
to APC.
So, they gave him, the Southwest voted for him because, most of the leaders in the Southwest emerged through the instrumentality of this present President of Nigeria.
Talking about Ahmed Bola
Tinubu. So he got a greater percentage of votes, and also he defeated Jonathan with just a 2 million plus votes. Do you get me? Yes, Jonathan scored, I think, 11 million, whereas he scored 15 point something million votes.
Even though the support from the southern part of Nigeria, let's say even the southwest, even with the Tinubu bloc, was not more than 3 million votes.
It wasn't more than 3 million. He has been gaining or gathering 12 million.
12 million
from
consistently.
The north, because he's a political, his political followership cuts across the 19 states. I've never had any politician in Nigeria except Awolowo during the action group, during the first republic. Awolowo was the only person who can stand and say that his own political geopolitical zone is under his palms. Yes, because if you watch the Awolowo's political history, if you have gone through his history, you find out that during the time he founded the action what's it called his political party
of Awolowo?
Yes, Awolowo is
Action Group.
Yes. He during Action Group and NCNC during the first and second
NCNC of Nnamdi Azikiwe.
Yes. So now Awolowo, after Awolowo made several attempts to become the Nigerian president, he couldn't. Because of the Northerners who failed to form an alliance with him.
They rather formed an alliance with NCNC.
Yes, the NCNC. Do you get me? So it was very difficult for him to clinch the presidential seat as at then. But because of the coming in, the amalgamation of coalition of both the northern political, forces and the southwestern political forces, Buhari was able to emerge.
So as a president, quickly now, for want of time, as a civilian president, you said you're not scoring him credit.
No, I score him as a civilian president. I can score him a pass.
A pass?
Yes, another pass, because he almost failed. What
do you think happened?
What happened is this: we have the trajectory at our hands. At the history at our hands. You saw what Nigerian passed through under his watch. At the time he was his first tenure, you saw the issues of clamping of judges, judicial officers, going to judges' house in the middle in the night, sting operations, arresting judges, dragging them, dragging them to the mud.
But that's the typical Buhari we know. A no-nonsense tolerance for corruption.
No, you don't do it. If you are aggrieved with a judicial officer, if you are aggrieved with a sitting judge, the appropriate place to go is Judicial Service Commission. There's a National Judicial Service Commission, NJC. That is where you petition the erring judge, any erring judge or judges. Any judge that you found wanting or you think his action overreached the constitutional provision or the oath of his office, the appropriate voter to go, or the appropriate place to petition the judge is the National Judicial Service Commission. They are the one constitutionally.
Well, that's your jurisdiction.
Yes.
But don't you think, in all honesty, that maybe these protocols, bureaucratic bottlenecks, that goes with civilian, democratic, whatever, was part of what actually hindered the man Buhari from executing his programs properly as a civilian ruler?
Yes.
It would have been a lot easier for him as a military man. He gives decrees and he embarks upon.
He misconceived what should be done at that particular point in time. Because you write to NJC, you write to them, if they don't want to act, you can direct the Attorney General, which is the Chief Legal Officer of the Federation, to compel them to act expeditiously. You get me? Yes, that is what he ought to have done. Not to go into their houses, in a commando style, picking them up in the night, in the middle of the night. There are things you don't do. Seizing their funds. Okay. Even if those funds are illicit funds, there are ways you go about it.
Okay, aside from he dealt with the judiciary, what else? Maybe one or two
then,
points
during his second term, we all saw what happened at the NSAS, stuff. The shootings that happened in Lagos toll gate. That's the
shootings at the youths of Nigeria.
Yes, at the youth of Nigerians by the military. We saw all of that. We saw a lot of the rising agitation, the rising demand for secession under his watch, and he never deployed any diplomatic means to bring those things, to BRS minimum. He doesn't want to negotiate with them. He doesn't want to call them for negotiation. You don't do that. These are the people you are governing, and these are the people by implication voted for you.
That's right.
Do you get me?
That's
so
right.
Democracy gives room for table discussion. You call the opponent, you call whomever that is being dissatisfied to come closer so that you can negotiate with him.
All right. That's just the much we're going to take, because the man Buhari, he's come, he's gone. He's gone. He's been laid to rest. The question now is, which way forward for us, Nigeria, as a people? Which way forward? And as leadership is concerned, Buhari has contributed his own quota.
Yes.
I think the onus now lies on us, both those in government and those being governed, to try to right the wrongs. Barrister General Cletus, in the next 30 seconds, I don't know if you can manage that time.
Yes.
I don't know if you want to say may his soul rest in perfect peace.
May his soul rest in perfect. I've been saying it and I will continue to say it.
Okay.
Yes.
And we understand that from different quarters, a lot of people are not too pleased. Even from his kinsmen in Daura.
Yes.
They said they were disappointed.
There were trending videos, people chanting, jubilating that he died. But that is, it's uncalled for.
Told that route.
It is uncalled for.
Death is an inevitable end that must come
to everybody. Yes.
Well, it's quite a pity we lost that man, and may he so rest in perfect peace, as you said, and may the family find a way in God's favor to bear the loss. Looking forward from now henceforth, I don't know, Barrister Cleto, we will need to have you come, so that we could talk more.
Yes.
2027 is coming. There is this build-up towards 2027.
Yes.
Another coalition force is being, galvanized.
Yes.
Buhari has left a big shoe.
Yes.
For another leader from the north.
But he didn't groom anybody.
He didn't groom anybody.
He didn't groom anybody to succeed him.
But we see the likes of Nasser El-Rufai, former governor of Kaduna State, Nasser El-Rufai.
Abubakar.
Atiku
Malami.
Abubakar Malami.
Rotimi Amechi.
Amechi from the south. Yeah. But I'm looking at a northern leader who will be able to hold on to that number of supporters, 12 million. As a bloc in northern Nigeria. That whoever is going to emerge as president in 2027 is going to scramble over. Because any man who is able to hold on to that 12 million supporters,
you almost get into the...
Then you are there. And Buhari has just left these people in the space. Who is going to hold on to that block support? It
will be very, very difficult, because most of the leaders in the north now are, are selfish leaders. Granted, El-Rufai is a strategist. He's a political strategist. But he cannot, because of his level of extremism.
Okay.
Because of the kind of politics he plays. He cannot galvanize that kind of number.
That would be an issue for another day. Let's look at these things. David Mark is leading the coalition.
David Mark cannot even...
Atiku Abubakar is part of it. El-Rufai is there. Malami is there.
David Mark cannot even make impute, because David Mark even in Benue State, In Benue State, he cannot even, if you look at the Benue political history from 1999, it's the chief people. They are the one ruling the state from 1999 to date.
That's for Benue?
Yes. Benue West, that's Idoma, this, what is it called them? That's Otubo.
Okay.
Idoma, this was Otuba side, Benue West. Nobody has even come, apart from being a deputy governor.
And possibly the man may not have done too well for his people, but we will have enough time to look into those issues when next we're going to have you. I hope you're going to oblige us when we call on you.
We will do our best.
Please, we appeal so that we could look at these issues and get the viewer better informed. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you
for obliging our call. Dear viewer, this is much we take on this show today. The arena on Aneke TV. Many thanks to Barrister Rakletus for giving us this time with him. Until we come your way again, we pray that the soul of late Muhammad Buhari will rest in perfect peace. My name is Chris Anubog saying thanks for being there.